Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 33. In this episode, you'll get to hear from yours truly. And I talk about how to be a badass with your money. Who doesn't want that? Especially in light of the times today, right? So yeah, I talk about my journey with paying off $106,000 in debt and about the badass money challenge that's coming up that we'd love for you to be a part of. Check out the details at the end of the episode or on the show notes page. Stay tuned because I know you're going to love this episode. Welcome to Ordinary to Badass. After listening to this episode and going through the 7-day challenge, you will no longer be ordinary and be a total badass. You will have your finances under control, and I am so stinking excited for you. I want you to know that your money, your financial situation, does not define you. Friend, I have been where you are, and I can only imagine the stress that you're going through, the pressure that is on your shoulders, the weight of the world feels like it's right there. It's stressful. And you deserve better. Quite frankly, your family deserves better. But sometimes we have to hit a low, an all-time low, before we can change. I know I did. So today, I want to talk to you about me. Yeah, I'll be selfish and talk to you about me and my situation, but I'm doing it in hopes that it can help you. You see, I don't like to talk about this a ton, or I haven't in the past, because I feel like it's just that, the past. But sometimes, really, we can learn from what other people have gone through. And in light of the coronavirus, I've come to realize that, yeah, maybe there is something that you can learn from me and what happened to me. Or maybe there's something that I can help you with. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let's take it back about 5 years. At the time, I was married and I had 3 stepdaughters who I considered my daughters. And I was in a ton of debt. To be exact, I had $106,000 of debt to pay off, and that did not include my mortgage. That was stressful AF. I mean, I was embarrassed. Money isn't something that people talk about regularly, right? And to make it worse, I had a good paying job. My spouse at the time had a good paying job. So the fact that we had problems paying our bills, that's embarrassing, mortifying. There were times where I would even have to ask my mom for money. I would say, hey, can you I'm a little bit short until my next paycheck. Can you give that to me and I'll pay it back to you on my paycheck? My mom was like my personal payday loan, which is just crazy because I was making more money than her, but I just wasn't managing it well. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I never really managed my bills, like what came in, what money was going out. I didn't pay attention to that. And I sure as heck didn't write anything down. One thing that really sticks out to me is when I was camping. My spouse and I and the family, we all went camping at Lake Chelan, Washington. And it was about, I can't remember if it was 10 days or 14 days. I feel like it was 10. But we go camping there every year. And this is the one year my spouse at the time had brought my mother-in-law, which is cool. But we're there Day one, I go to use my debit card and it bounces. It does not go through. How mortifying, right? I mean, I didn't want my mother-in-law at the time to know about that, nor really anybody else. But here's the thing. I wasn't managing my money right. I was just paying with my debit card, using it anytime that I felt like I wanted to. And I never balanced a checkbook. I never wrote stuff down, tracked my purchases, anything like that. I would just use my debit card and kind of have a running balance in my head. But, it really wasn't a running balance in my head. That's just kind of what I told myself. So I would call the bank and listen to, dial the number and do the automated options to find out my balance. And for most of my life, I considered that okay. I considered that to be my checks and balances, to tell me how much money I had. But the problem is, it's not always accurate. It doesn't always tell you the correct amount, or some purchases haven't went through. So I don't know if you guys have ever been where I am, if you can resonate with that at all. But I will tell you that it's stressful. Sometimes in life, it takes something huge to change. It takes something horrible to happen. Quite frankly, coronavirus, COVID-19. It takes some sort of pain or heartache, or it takes just getting freaking sick and tired of your situation, getting sick of what you're going through. And you get so sick and tired of it that you don't want to do it anymore. Or you get so scared that it makes you want to change. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what happened to me. I got so sick of my situation that I was like, I am not doing this anymore. So if that's how you were feeling right now, I get it. There is nothing wrong with that. But use it to your advantage. This moment where you want to change, where you want to make a difference, where you want to be better for your family, where you're terrified that you might not have enough money for whatever, whether it's certain bills or feeding your family or whatever. Okay. Have that motivate you to make a change. Make a change today. So my big motivation was my kids at the time. The girls meant the world to me. So just so you know, they're my stepdaughters, but I call them my girls because I love them like they're my girls. And it terrified me thinking, what if something happened to me? What if something happened to my spouse? And who's going to pay for the bills? Who's going to pay for all the debt that we have? Who is going to feed them? If something happened to one of us, there would be, no way that the other one could afford the lifestyle we were living. And honestly, we were both in law enforcement. So that can be a dangerous job. So I thought about that, and that replayed in my head often, and it would keep me up at night worrying, what if we can't pay this? What if something happens? And really, all I wanted was for things to be okay for the girls. That's what my motivation was. And that's what started me on this journey. I started saying, okay, this is not enough. This is not good enough for me. This is not good enough for the girls. I have got to stop thinking of myself here and start thinking of the family. And that's what kicked me in the butt. That's what got me moving. So in a period of just under 2 years, I paid off $106,000 in debt. And now, I did end up going through a divorce through that period, but nothing ever changed with the debt that I owed or the debt that I had to pay off. And I sold things. I got rid of things. Actually, I had a trailer for camping and ended up getting rid of that. Well, okay. I was going to get rid of it, but it got totaled. And that's a story for another day. Somebody ran into it when it was parked, and I didn't end up buying another trailer. Thank goodness I had Why can I not think of the insurance? Gap insurance. Thank goodness I had Gap insurance. But hey, that's for another story. I sold a car and just kept the crummy 2001 car that I had, the 2001 Toyota Corolla. That's what I had. And I kept that and got rid of the Suburban because I knew that I didn't need a Suburban. I was divorced at that point. We're going through a divorce, and although I loved the Suburban, it didn't make sense to keep it. So I got rid of that. And I just handled things differently. I paid off stuff. I just took it one day at a time. And at first I didn't think that I could do it. Like, it just felt so daunting looking at the numbers, feeling so stressed. And I'll tell you, I started by doing Financial Peace University, which is Dave Ramsey's course. 100% recommend it. Love it. And I felt stressed when I had to gather all of my bills, when I had to sit down and look at how much I owed and to where. Like, oh my goodness. That in itself just gave me anxiety because you don't want to know how much money you really know or you really owe. There's something to be said about putting your head in the sand and just ignoring it. And you know what? That's what I had done for years and years and years. It did not help me. Ignoring my finances, that's exactly what had my bank account bounce when I was camping on the first day. Because I didn't know what I had paid where and what I owed. It's just like, I would pay my bill every month and I would pay, say, $100 over, $50 over for each and everything. And I didn't realize that by splitting my attention, by splitting my payments, and even if I added money to each one, that I wasn't doing any good. I never felt like I was making any headway. I now think that if you want to make headway, you have to have a system in place to tackle one debt at a time. So anyway, back to the story. I did Financial Peace University. I sat down. I looked at all my bills. I felt like crud. I felt horrible. So if you're creating a budget, like you're newly doing this in light of COVID-19 and you feel horrible and you're like, how did I let this happen? I feel you, friend. I feel you. I too have been there. I have been stressed. I have cried. I've felt like crud. Feels like an insurmountable mountain. Like, how will you ever get through this? But you must. You will. Just keep going. And quite honestly, after you get the perspective and you get over that initial weight of what you owe, there is something freeing about it. It's like, okay, here's where I am. I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to get worse. This is where I am today. How can I improve? And you're actually taking control. You're actually taking action and making something happen. And that's amazing. That's amazing. It gives you a little bit of control back in your life. It lets you actually know for sure where you are. You are no longer putting your head in the sand. You are looking at what you're up against or what you've done or what you owe. And you're saying, okay, I got you. I can do this. At least you know where you stand. So it was probably day 2 or day 3, maybe even the first week, I don't know, that I started to be like, okay, I can create a budget. Now I know what I owe. Like, that's a relief. Now I have a plan for what I can do to move forward. For most of my life, I have never had a plan with money. So having a plan and knowing what to do and how to get out of debt, that was amazing. And I don't know, there was something that always stressed me out about budget. So sitting down to do a budget, I had resistance towards it, I think is the best answer. I just felt like, nope, don't want to do it. The resistance, I think, didn't help me learn how to do a budget. Even though everybody kept saying, it's so simple, it's so easy. That just frustrated me because It didn't seem simple to me. It didn't seem easy to me. And sometimes we just put up our own walls. Sometimes we don't want to see it or don't want to figure it out. Or, you know what? I've often thought that I have a learning disability because I don't learn things quickly. I don't absorb things quickly. But you know what? Don't give up. Look at it 10 times, 10 days in a row. Look at your budget. Try to figure it out. You're going to make mistakes. And that's okay because you will get through it. The main thing is that you are not going to give up. You are not going to say, I can't do this. This is too hard for me. Nope. You don't have to learn day one. You don't have to learn month 1 or month 2. You just keep trying and you consistently do it over time. That is what matters. That is what will make the difference for you. So, yeah, that's what I did. I was in $106,000 in debt. I joined Financial Peace University through Dave Ramsey. I paid off $106,000 in debt in just under 2 years. And actually, that changed my life. That 100% changed my life. I am so grateful that happened because it gave me so much confidence in so many different areas of my life. Like, it changed me. It really changed me. And it changed the way that I look at goals. I realized that if you're consistent and persistent and you keep going after something, that you can get it. And that it doesn't have to be an overnight success. It doesn't have to be success each and every day. It's the long-term goal, the long-term picture. So you fail today, then you pick back up tomorrow. That's it. You fail tomorrow, you pick back up the next day. It's like the thing, like if you fail, you're just learning. It's not a real failure. And you're going to make mistakes along the way. I promise you I did. But it's just keep looking at the long-term picture. Know that you're going to pay off your debt. That's it. Know that you're going to do it. And start figuring out what that would look like for you to have no debt. And imagine it each and every day. Imagine yourself being debt-free, able to go pay for a vacation without having to put it on a credit card. All the fun stuff that will allow you or you and your family to do. All of the stress that will be gone. And I want you to think of that all the time. And just to know that you're not dividing your attention between 10 different things, like between 10 different bills, you're focusing on one thing, one bill, until you pay that off. All the other ones are going to get the minimum payment. That's it. So say you had 5 bills, one's 100, one's 200, 300, 400, 500. That's just I'm just saying it easy. Then you're going to work to pay off the $100 bill first and pay the minimum on all the rest. And then the $200 bill, pay the minimum on all the rest. And then you just keep knocking one off at a time. Once you pay off that $100 bill, you go to the $200 bill and you put all that money that you would use for the 100 and the 200, put those together. And you just keep paying more and more off until you pay off all your bills, all your debt. It's freaking empowering. It's encouraging. It's like, it will show you so much about life, so much about consistency, so much about just not giving up. So I'm excited for you, friend, because I know how this can change your life. Now, there's a story that I heard and it always stuck out to me. It's the story of the dog on the tack. Have you heard this story? Whether you've heard it or not, I'm just going to jump in and tell it to you again anyway. I think it's a great reminder. So, one time, there was a dog that kept on crying. And he just kept just crying, whining, yelping. And this guy named Mike walked by. And he'd see the dog on the porch just keep on crying, keep on whining. And he's like, it's a good dog. Why is he doing that? He just thought it was strange. So every day he walked by, heard the dog crying, and finally he saw the dog's owner outside. And he's like, hey, Don, what's going on? He's like, why is your dog Bernie crying? And Don was like, well, he's sitting on a tack. Mike was like, what? He's sitting on a tack? Don was like, yeah, he hasn't gotten sick enough of a situation yet. He just goes, he likes the spot he's sitting at. He doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to move. So he keeps going back and sitting on the tack. So, friend, is that what you're doing? Is the pain not big enough for you? Is the pain not strong enough for you? Are you just going to keep going and sitting on a tack just because that's your normal routine? Are you going to keep paying out money and knowing that you're drowning? Knowing that it's affecting your family? Sometimes change is hard. It's uncomfortable. But you know what? It's more uncomfortable to sit on that tack. And I don't know. I think it's, would you rather live a life in misery just because that's what you're used to? That doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. Get tired of sitting on the freaking tack. Get tired of not having the money that you want to have, of not being able to support your family, your kids, whoever, of not being able to take care of yourself. If stuff hits the fan tomorrow, how are you going to care for yourself? Get sick of it. Decide that it's not okay. And if you want help making that change, if you feel like you're stuck and you don't know how to do it, I am there. I am with you, friend, because I promise you, I was there before. It felt daunting. It felt intimidating. But you know what? I was sick of it. I wasn't going to stay up at night anymore worrying about not being able to care for my family. And I took action. And it's the best decision I ever made. And I don't know that I told you this, but that empowered me so much. Doing Financial Peace University and paying off all that debt, that empowered me so much that I went to Financial Coach Master Training and got certified in that. As a matter of fact, before I started Ordinary to Badass, that's exactly what I was going to do. Be a coach, be a trainer for money, help people get out of debt. And it was kind of forgotten about for a little bit because I became so stinking passionate about Ordinary to Badass. But now, in light of everything that's going on, I feel like I can help. I feel like I can help you guys get out of the pain, the struggle, the debt that you're in, and encourage you and push you to move on. So I created a 7-day money challenge, and I would be honored to work with you. In this challenge, we're going to figure out how to get your budget set and different things that you can do to increase or improve your financial situation right now. Sign up. The link should be in the notes section of your podcast, whatever app you're using. And it'll have a link to the show notes. Go there and then click sign up for the challenge, or sign up for the Badass Money Challenge to be exact. This will help you get control in a time that feels crazy or like you have no control. In these 7 days, believe me, you'll feel like you're more in control of your situation. And while we're on that topic, it happened to my mom. I sat down with my mom, briefly explained what to do, how to pay off what payment in her budget, but we created a budget together. And that's it. I didn't help her anytime after that. We just sat down for maybe 2-3 hours and went over where she was at and created a budget. And she did the rest and paid off all the debt on her own. So you could do that too. This 7-day challenge can set you up for success. I will be hosting the challenge in the Facebook group so that you can have support and community around you, people who are doing the same thing as you. I would be so honored to work with you and would love for you to join. So go ahead and sign up today. You will not regret it. You absolutely won't. I will take you through what I did to pay off the $106,000 in debt in just under 2 years. And let's get you a community of people going through the same thing and paying off debt and getting their stuff squared away. That's what I want for you. So yeah, join today. Until next week, my friends, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.